Uh, Greetings. This is a review of Fanime Day 5. Yeah. This is 2 days later because I caught the con cold. And yeah, I just now have a voice. So I'll briefly say what happened. It's in the slideshow too. There were two remaining panels. There was a lot of walking around. There was not as many jokes. Were not as many jokes. It was basically the final day. Everybody was exhausted and catching something and stuff. So yeah. Uh, so and we came to. Well, one of the panels was on a joke on Make America Great Again. It was called Make Anime Great Again, and it was a joke in that they were sort of honoring fan fiction stuff, saying it was the real deal with animation. It was funny. Also, making anime great again. Their joke was a little off, but their humor in the story was fine. It really didn't like. Their political humor is a difficult concept. You don't understand it, Captain. Anyway, so I don't think they did. Yeah, and yeah, I mean they didn't show the obvious thing would be to find an anime character that looks like Donald Trump, the hair. Yeah, they didn't do that. They should have. Yeah, so. There was another panel. It was on. To say there was another panel. I think there was, and it was on these. Oh yeah, it was video games. It was a lady doing a video game panel. It was on. I can't believe this was anime. I think something like that, and. Or you didn't know this was anime. It was sort of like, okay, these video games were anime, and this is what I mentioned on the slideshow, but you kind of have music in the background, so I'm kind of going over that. The thing ends with basically them showing several old video games that were ported to Sega or Nintendo over the years, and other venues. They had changed names whenever they were obviously infringing copyright, and they would change the character only minor like. So there were like 8 different Street Fighters, and 4 different versions of a Zelda type game or whatever. And that's just like some of those Street Fighter games I actually played that were mentioned there, the Street Fighter knockoffs. And one of the obscure games was a game that was just about in every bargain bin in the 90s, and I believe one of my nieces had one, and didn't play it just once. But back, Diddy Kong, because it's better. Maybe that was early 2000s. But yeah, it was yeah. So, yeah, Donkey Kong Country. Oh no, she didn't show any. There were a lot of knockoffs of that. But they didn't show that. Oh well. Anyway, but yeah, then I went to the dealer's room. I went to it twice. That's where they get merchandise. I went back to see if Doug Walker might show up again because my eyes were closed in the shot. But I have another shot where my eyes are open. That was the earlier one, which was more impromptu. He didn't know who the heck I was at that point. So that was Kal Kat. No. Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah. I put up the picture with the eyes closed on the website because it's funny. I will be posting all of Fanime, but I have to edit it down to like, so it's not a movie about the slideshows and stuff like that, so that it's shorter and watchable. Also, there are at least 3 30-minute periods of Doug Walker in the convention, but it is nearly unwatchable because I had to zoom in, and the camera is like shaking everywhere. So, the next con where they allow such things, monopod. Hook it up to the chair. Get the little selfie stick. Put that up on the ground, and then it won't be jerking around. Yeah. Also, a better camera would be ideal. Yeah. And I don't know. It's downtown San Jose, though. Do you want to have like an SD camera down there? I don't know. So yeah, that's I enjoyed Fanime this year. I plan to go again next year when they do gaming. That's what they're gonna do next year. They've announced it, so everyone knows. And Doug Walker had a great time, the Channel Awesome guy, and he might bring the other ones to that. It would be great if the game people, angry game nerd, who didn't get any shots up. I think I only got one. It would be nice if he brought Angry Joe Rant and the other game people. That'd be cool. He'd bring Club and Hike Plays. That would be cool. Get those two guys. Why not? Hike Plays is L.A., so you can get him. He would be great. Hike the Gamer. Hike the Gamer. Hike the Gamer. So, yeah. That's, but they might not. I'm just guessing they might do. So this is my review of day 5. And, yeah. Getting over whatever this is the con gave me. And unfortunately eating food in downtown San Jose. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. Although I'm told that Mark's Card said there was a decent Philly cheesesteak place over by the school. Yes, but Togo's there kind of sucks now. Yeah. And Johnny Rockets is evil. Yeah. Why would anyone go in there? That would explain a few things. But yeah. Yeah. Downtown San Jose. Their nightlife is cool, but for some reason they have no food. Yeah. Anyway, so let's have some. The Love Victoria's is alright. I guess. Yeah. It's kind of scary. And then P.F. Chang's moved. Anyway, so day 5. Fanime. See you next time for more Fanime adventures and fun. And the slideshows, which are massive, to put that together. And, yeah, Fanime Con 2017. Kal Kat the Kal Katster. I'm out. This is Kal Kat the Kal Katster. I still have the hideous cold from the convention. It is now Thursday night. But during the Doug Walker panels, some fans mentioned a couple of movies and production reviews that Doug Walker hasn't done, including Strange Magic, Reboot, Mac and Me, sort of a retrospective on Blade Runner. I thought that since it's unlikely that I'll be doing a movie review this weekend and going out to a movie, I could certainly at some point see one of these films or shows, and including Reboot here, and do a thing on it. Since the Weird Kitty 07 channel is technically 10 years old, and well, although the On Location Cat is a little later, 2011, the Chimera one too. They were uploaded later, restored later, I think. Yeah. So Legacy channel was the original one. So Weird Kitty, the reviews channel, channel 2 was actually channel 1 originally. So yeah, it's 10 years old. It was the SAP 1 Productions channel, which is not to be confused with the other SAP Productions that's out there on YouTube. This was an acronym of some of my relatives and their friends, so it had nothing to do with that other thing. So yeah, or the SAP Center in San Jose. Anyway, so yeah. And also we have On Location Cat channel. I'm trying to put Fanime together here on the thing. trying to get it. There are better versions of the Doug Walker panels online right now on the official Fanime sites and fan sites. So mine is not going to look that good compared to the professionals that went and actually got to put a camera in front of him and film him. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of a mess to go through hours of footage and try to make a sellable story this year. Without not sellable, a workable story that doesn't infringe on any copyrights of the FanimeCon people or any copyrights of the any song holder, anime holders that may be in the background. I've never seen the movie Strange Magic. It's a Lucasfilm. It might be interesting to see that. I have seen Reboot, so although Doug Walker hasn't, I have seen it. So that's a TV show about a sort of a Tron type of thing. Yeah, and somebody really didn't like Blade Runner. And I think they were probably a combination of him being young, or like moderately young, and not getting it because they probably saw it on video like 10 years, or 12 years after it came out, or weren't even born yet when it came out. Maybe they weren't even born yet when the 10th anniversary came out. So I think it's Blade Runner was, yeah, I'll go into that later, was really a product of its time in the 80s. And it appears derivative now only because of the 80s. I think I've done a review of Blade Runner, but it'd be interesting to do a retrospective thing, exploring the concept that Next Generation just might not get it. Or that, certain elements, that it's a different from the book. Android Electric Sheep. Android's Dream of Electric Sheep, all that. And there's a new movie coming out, so I could revisit it. Mac and Me is a really bad McDonald's commercial from the 80s movie. Yeah, so anyway, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. So yes, Fanime 2017 was definitely a cool experience. About there's Kitty Key, the martial sportist, showed up. He or a martial sportist. It would be more accurate. This martial sportist. I decided to get rid of a lot of his audio and stuff like that. But if you want to, there's going to be a YouTube version of the of all the little clips that got cut out and bloopers and things. I'm sure there's going to be some of that, and that'll be cool. Also, him doing the stroll. All the characters do the stroll. Do the walk. The boardwalk. I thought that it would be fun to show that again, and in some other form because there's audio in the background, and I also cut from this story, even though it is very long, the game room discussion. But I showed the game room here. The audio, yeah, of course, there's game room people going on, doing their thing. And I trimmed this massively so that it's not me just following around behind random people. That's boring. It's still long, but I think it conveys what's going on. You get to see roughly what's the deal at the convention. This is a very clean version of it in terms of editing. And also in terms of the rating. I'm sure it's PG. I think PG-13 maybe when we get the Doug Walker footage, which is in here. If you want to skip to that. Yeah. And this is probably the largest portion of visuals. This part right here is where they introduce Nostalgia Critic. But he comes onto the stage. And here he is jumping and having a great time. And very animated guy. And doing like a Bugs Bunny cartoon almost. Or a Daffy Duck sort of thing. There was music playing, so I couldn't show the music was playing. It was, so he's doing his thing. Unless we could take the audio, change it or something. It'd be kind of fun to include some of those because the part where they're walking is considered sort of a music video. It's going to be called Mocking Grandmaster. It ended up just not getting done. Probably would have been used, and some of this footage probably will be something. But yeah, we did not film a music video when we were there. Just like, but certainly the footage, the video footage is there for a music video. Garish, silly music video. Yeah, the dealer's room was good. The deals were good. It was ultimately, I didn't buy much there, but there was stuff there to do and buy. And not much trading though, just buy. No haggling at all, really. There was a guy that did have some of the classic Japanese manga stuff and animes, lots of that. Anime stuff, and I asked about Robotech Macross Delta, and he said that he couldn't sell that there because it would be considered a bootleg, which was interesting. You got to order it online as a bootleg, I guess, to get it here. Whereas it was the bootleg guy, if he was there, he would have just had a copy of it somewhere. Most of the time, they're just and interestingly enough, there was not a lot of discussion of politics. Not really. There was a comedian or two that joked about it, but as for the people in the hallways and byways and things, they really didn't say much at all. I figure that they're in their own sort of anime world there, and just didn't really have any opportunity to talk about that, or didn't want to, and that's fine. Yeah, as Kitiki, the martial sport test. And he was gonna do a music video called "The Mocking Grandmaster," and yeah, we have the visuals, and I also went into the game room and discussed the starship locations in detail and some of the other stuff, which now it is moot. So, so is it? I mean, I'll include it somewhere, I guess, as a peripheral, but yeah, what they discussed there is now probably somewhat changed, and yeah, since Discovery's thing came out and everything. Now, it had already come out at that point during this, but the impact of it has since affected the other stuff. So yeah, this first segment is coming to an end, and I'm still going on. And he's wearing a Las Vegas hat from the Las Vegas airport from 2006, I believe. One of the hats that predates the Kal Kat show. And incidentally, this is going to be on Weird Kitty 07 channel, which predates the Kal Kat show. And that started in 2007. And it's Weird Kitty 07. So it's 10 years of that. So this is allegedly a crossover between the Kal Kat show and Nostalgia Critic. But it isn't really. It's the Kal Kat show went to Fanime and recorded Fanime. And he happened to be there. So there was no actual deal saying this is a crossover between the two. It's just that I went there and covered it. And, okay. So, yeah, there was no deal struck. It was just, I was there, and they were there. And, yeah. It wasn't like the Star Trek one either in the same way. But, yeah, that's cool. I got the first picture is actually the best one. Impromptu picture. He didn't know who I was. And that is coming up momentarily. As we come to the intro of him dancing about and cheering and had fun at Fanime Con. And now we're coming to the close of that and Mark in the dealer's room. And yeah, so yeah, it was a fun experience going to Fanime, having an adventure. We have a furry fox person there. Lots of those. There was a surprising amount of and Fanime, surprising amount of unknown kitty keys and cowpokes. Well, not so many kitty keys, Kellys and cowpokes and Kal Kats. a lot of them. And it isn't that they were necessarily dressing up like my characters. It's that that's just how people in California dress up. So they did. So, yeah. Kelly's here and there. I don't think that they necessarily knew that it was the Kal Kat look. I think the Kal Kat look is just copying California people in general and is not really a look thing. It's just that they were doing that. But let's just say they watched the Kal Kat show and that they knew about it and they decided to dress up like him. So at one point they would then find me in the audience and go like, hey, you look like the guy from the show. And I'd be like, I am the guy from the show. I'm here too. Yeah. But yes, and they had an art gallery thing in the back, and they had, that was Doug Walker's favorite place. I didn't really see him in there, but it was his favorite place. Must have just missed him. Anyway, so yeah, it's interesting, these conventions is when you get to the parts where they actually do talk to the actual celebrities, and they're like, assuming the celebrity knows more about the material they act in when they wouldn't. Really? I guess with a blogger, you assume he's doing his research for him, you know, and he understands what's going on. But that may not always be the case. The Kal Kat show kind of wings it a lot of the time, for instance. So, why would he have a monument? Doesn't make any sense. No, he wouldn't. But yeah, the limited subscribers on the Kal Kat show would make you wonder. It is interesting, though, that the Kal Kat show has more apparent views than even the old Jung Swan website, partly because what I've done is saturated Google search engines with not bots, but just the appearance of my show that has 400 videos in one thing, almost 400 videos in one thing, and altogether, I think it's 308 on this one and 200 something on the other, 250 on the other, and put them all together, it's over 400. It's 500. But yeah, and I have trimmed it considerably so that it's mainly Doug Walker. But also we have some other characters in the long line. They kept saying LineCon. Some people had said that LineCon had gone away. LineCon moved around, so that LineCon was not exactly outside. It was sort of in the hallways of the hotel or in the hallways at the convention center. Still there. They just took it out from the street and put it and wrapped it around, put a bow on it. So out on the street again, there was a street preacher who was saying it was evil and sinful to have costumes, and if any of them were gay, they were sinful because they were gay. Which is like, okay, what? But the Lord Jesus didn't say nothing. It is funny that the Kal Kat show, being a local celeb thing, is they don't know how big it is when they see it. So they go to it, and it gets views, but it doesn't get a lot of subscriptions. Unlike Nostalgia Critic, which does, because, well, they have Patreon and all that. They have more commenters. Even though my channel's been around as long, it just hasn't been as famous as long. I would say, really, it's starting up there, even though we've been covering stuff like this for years. It's starting to be noticed this year, and near the end of last year it started to. So it's late 2015, early 2016, started to get noticed. But before then, it's been around since, Weird Kitty 07's been around since 2007. It predates the Kal Kat show, which was on the other channel. The bay window reminded me of the Millennium Falcon window. But yes, the art museum. Some of the earliest Kal Kat classes, so to speak, were at the art museum in San Jose State, and later on. But so the con was wrapping up, I guess you would say. It's Monday. Um, it was interesting. So in the end, when things were going out, they just kind of left things and paused at things. And, I don't really think anyone I actually knew was there, but maybe they were. There weren't necessarily any secrets or really any major bloopers, really.